My wife has an extremely severe case of germophobia. We've been married for 3 years. She even thinks any food I touched is dirty. But yesterday I saw her with my own eyes finish the half bowl of rice left by her male assistant. I didn't make a big scene, nor did I expose her right then. The next day I treated her entire company to a big feast. When everyone was leaving, I did it in front of all people. Poured every leftover portion on the table into her bowl, ordered her to eat every last grain of it, or we would get a divorce. That afternoon, my wife called suddenly saying she had to work overtime tonight, so she couldn't come home to have dinner with me. My buddy happened to invite me out. We decided to go eat hot pot together. When we passed by a restaurant, my buddy pointed at the table near the French window. "Doesn't that look like your wife?" I took a closer look. Even though it was just a back view, I recognized it was Su Wanking right away, and the person sitting across from her was none other than Chen Yu, the new special assistant, who had joined the company for less than a month. Chen Yu frowned slightly, staring worriedly at the half bowl of egg-fried rice left in his bowl. The next second, Su Wanking actually picked up that half bowl of rice directly, lowered her head and ate every last grain of it. I froze instantly. Standing there dumbfounded, Su Wanking has super severe germophobia. We've been married for 3 years. We've always used separate dishes and chopsticks. Once I forgot to use serving chopsticks and picked a piece of fish for her. She directly dumped the entire bowl of rice in front of me, along with that plate of fish into the trash can. Even when we have sex, she puts on multiple layers of protection. That's why we haven't had a kid after 3 years of marriage. But now she's actually eating leftovers from another man. I pushed the door and walked in, stared at the empty bowl in front of her and asked with a smile, "Is it tasty?" The tenderness in Su Wanking's eyes turned to panic in an instant. Honey, Chen Yu couldn't finish his meal. There was so much left. I didn't want to waste food, so I ate it. Don't overthink it. I smiled calmly and said, "Didn't you say you were working overtime today? You finished that fast. There were some temporary changes to the project, so we don't have to rush work anymore." Before Su Wanking finished speaking, Lu Tso suddenly cut in. "Mr. Lu, you've never worked before. Temporary changes like this on projects are super common." I looked at Chen Yu next to me. "Did I ask you? Why are you butting in?" Chen Yu immediately put on a wronged face. Su Wanking grabbed my hand in a hurry. "I just took him out for a meal. We're just work partners. Don't scare him." Chen Yu tugged lightly at Su Wanking's sleeve. "Can you take me home? It's hard to get a taxi at this hour." Su Wanking looked at me. "Honey, you're not mad, right? How about I take Chen Yu home first?" I didn't object. I even smiled and replied, "Go ahead." Su Wanking immediately took Chen Yu, turned around and left quickly without looking back. I acted like nothing had happened at all, kept eating and chatting nonsense with my buddy. Near the end of work the next day, I stormed straight into the CEO's office. "All right, everyone, stop working. You're off work early today." I'm treating everyone to a big meal. No one moved at all, until Su Wanking said, "You can all go now." Only then did everyone put down their work, and followed me to the hotel. The meal went really pleasantly. When I saw the last person put down their chopsticks, I asked out loud, "Did everyone eat well?" Everyone said they were already full, so I asked the waiter to bring over a big bowl and put it right in front of Su Wanking. Then I stood up and scraped all the leftover cold food from everyone's bowl into that big bowl in front of Su Wanking. Su Wanking looked at me confusedly. I smiled at her and said, "Eat up, aren't you afraid of wasting food? Then finish all the leftovers from your CEO office colleagues." The atmosphere in the private room dropped instantly. Su Wanking's face turned dark. "Honey, I'm already full." I didn't listen to her explanation. I snapped at her sharply. "You're not leaving here today until you finish every bit of food in this bowl." Chen Yu stood up abruptly. "Mr. Lu, you've been a stay-at-home husband for 3 years. You never check prices when you buy things, all because you rely on President Su. And now, over a tiny issue, you're embarrassing President Su in public. How immature can you be?" I looked at her red, angry little face and smiled. "Eat up, honey. You can eat Chen Yu's leftovers, right? Why are you turning your nose up at other employees' leftovers? You're playing favorites, huh?" Su Wanking glanced at me first, then looked at the big bowl of leftover rice in front of her. She hesitated for a little while, finally picked up the chopsticks, and started shoveling rice into her mouth in big bites. Chen Yu next to her was so anxious that he screamed on the spot. "President Su, stop eating. You'll mess up your stomach if you keep this up. Why are you listening to him so obediently? He's a man who doesn't earn a single cent. What right does he have to order you around?" Chen Yu snatched the chopsticks right out of Su Wanking's hand. Stop eating! He doesn't care about you, but I do. You love caring about other people's wives that much, huh? Then you eat for her. I have a small appetite. I can't eat that much at all. You're deliberately making things hard for me. Then shut your mouth. With that, I grabbed another pair of chopsticks and handed them to Su Wanking. Eat up. Didn't you say you love eating this? Su Wanking took the chopsticks and kept shoveling rice into her mouth. She couldn't even swallow it down. She kept retching nonstop. Her whole body was shaking. Finally, she couldn't hold it in anymore. Bent over and threw up directly. Chen Yu beside her was so heartbroken that tears kept falling. He patted Su Wanking's back gently with one hand and scolded me with the other. What kind of man are you? You don't deserve to be President Su's husband at all. You're no help to President Su at all. You keep making trouble out of nothing and making her suffer. I don't deserve it, so you do. You want to take my place that badly now. President Su and I have a purely professional working relationship. Don't spout nonsense. How can you prove that? Why don't you just resign then? Why the hell should I resign? I'm doing perfectly fine at my job. Su Wanking, who was still teary-eyed from crying, suddenly spoke up. You're fired. Chen Yu was stunned on the spot, then put on a face like he was about to burst into tears. He dragged out his words and shouted in a trembling voice, President Su. Su Wanking, who had never gotten mad at me before, suddenly slammed the table and stood up. You have no right to fire my employee. I walked straight up to Chen Yu, raised my hand and slapped him twice. I don't hold any position in the group. It's true I don't have the right to fire him, but I have the right to slap him. Su Wanking immediately pulled the sobbing Chen Yu into her arms to protect him. That's way out of line. Maybe she still felt a little guilty when I caught her eating Chen Yu's leftovers earlier. Just a tiny bit of guilt towards me. But now, even that last bit of guilt was completely gone. I've spoiled you way too much all this time. That's why you're acting so recklessly and lawlessly. As punishment, I'm freezing all your bank cards. Chen Yu, who had been crying just a second ago, heard that all my cards were going to be frozen. The corners of his mouth immediately twitched up wildly. He couldn't hold back his smile. That's not a good idea, right? President Su, Mr. Liu was supposed to pay for this meal today. If you freeze all his cards, how's he going to pay the bill? This meal costs at least 10,000 wen. That's enough to file a police report. If Mr. Liu can't pay the bill, he'll probably get taken away by the security guards. Su Wanking took a deep breath and said, Liu Zhe, apologize to Chen Yu, and I'll let this whole thing go today. Hearing that, I got a little angry and pointed at Chen Yu. You want me to apologize to him? Are you crazy, or am I? Chen Yu pretended to be nice and persuaded Su Wanking. President Su, I'm just a lowly assistant. It's no big deal if I get wronged a little. It's all my fault, Mr. Liu. Don't get mad at President Su, okay? I'll apologize to you. Chen Yu pretended to grab my wrist, but actually pinched me really hard. It hurt like hell. I shook him off hard. Get lost. I didn't even use that much force, actually. But Chen Yu actually flew backward. He crashed right into the dining table, knocking all the plates and bowls on the table onto the floor. He fell down too, getting covered in oil and sauce. His hand was also cut by a broken plate, leaving a gash. Blood dripped onto the floor. Luza, you've gone too far. Su Wanking raised her hand and slapped me right across the face. My face turned to the side from the force of the slap. I licked the corner of my mouth. There was a weird metallic taste. I suddenly felt completely relieved. Are you blind? He pinched me really hard first. And I didn't even use any force at all. He faked the fall. Su Wanking helped Chen Yu up from the ground. She used the silk scarf I gave her for her birthday to wrap up Chen Yu's bleeding hand. That scarf had her name on it. I embroidered it myself. Now those two characters were dyed red with Chen Yu's blood. Let's go. Su Wanking wrapped her arm around Chen Yu's shoulder and left without looking back. Su Wanking put her arm around Chen Yu's shoulder and left without looking back. Everyone else started making excuses one after another, and all left at top speed. I was the only one left in the huge private room. A waiter knocked on the door and came in. Would you like to pay the bill now? I took a card out of my bag to pay. He swiped it once, and it showed insufficient balance. Sorry, sir. This card doesn't work. I gave him another card. Still insufficient balance. I tried 7 whole cards. None of them worked. Su Wanking actually froze all my cards. The waiter just stared at me like that. Sir, don't you have another payment method? I tried to call my buddy, but I had no clue where he was. He didn't answer my calls, and didn't reply to my WeChat messages. The waiter and I just stood there awkwardly. "Don't worry, I will definitely pay the bill." The waiter was already getting impatient. He called on his walkie-talkie. "Manager Wu, we got a dine-and-dasher here." Soon the hotel manager came over with the police. "Sir, please come with us." I tried hard to explain to the police, but they thought it was all just excuses. I was taken to the police station to make a statement. That's when my buddy finally called me back. 20 minutes later, he rushed to the station and paid the bill for me. That's how I got out of there. I looked back at the police station gate and suddenly laughed. I'm the sole heir of Feiyu Group, for crying out loud. How the hell did I end up at the police station just because I couldn't pay a bill? People would laugh their heads off if they heard about this. I used to want to be a good husband, support my wife who wanted to be a strong career woman. I never expected that after I helped Su Wang-king climb to the top. The first person she'd backstab is me, her beloved. I never expected that after I helped Su Wang-king climb to the top. The first person she'd backstab is me, her beloved. Looks like I made the wrong choice from the very start. When I got to my door, there was a pair of men's leather shoes there. They were exactly the pair Chen Yu wore today. Su Wang-king heard the noise and came out of the bedroom. Our eyes met right away. I didn't say a word and rushed straight into the bedroom. I saw Chen Yu with no shirt on, wearing Su Wang-king's pajama pants. The pants were short and tight, and he was drying his hair. It was obvious he'd just taken a shower. He used the bathroom in my master bedroom. Seeing this scene, I instantly saw red. I pointed at Su Wang-king and yelled angrily, "You got your own husband sent to the police station, then brought your assistant home. Wow, Su Wang-king, you're really something now, huh? You..." Don't get me wrong. Chen Yu's clothes got dirty, and the hotel is close to home, so I brought him up to take a shower and change clothes. You don't like other people touching your stuff, right? So I let him wear mine. Su Wang-king had that of course look on her face, like I was the one being unreasonable. Aren't you a clean freak? We even have to wash our clothes separately. And now he's wearing yours. So your cleanliness obsession only applies to me, is that it? Chen Yu still had that fake hypocritical look on his face. "Mr. Liu, don't get me wrong. President Su said she's giving these pants to me. She won't wear them again. Did I fucking ask you? My wife and I are talking. Why the hell do you keep butting in? My wife and I are talking. Why the hell do you keep butting in?" Chen Yu looked all wronged, like he was about to cry. "I just didn't want you to misunderstand President Su." That made me even angrier. "Oh, how kind of you." Su Wang-king yelled at me. "Luza, that's enough. You showed off at the hotel, now you're doing it again at home." I yelled back at her. "Do you think I wanted this?" Chen Yu tugged at Su Wang-king's sleeve. "Forget it, President Su. He's your husband after all. It's okay for a lowly assistant like me to take a little grievance. So what if he's my husband? That doesn't give him the right to boss you around." Watching the two of them flirt right in front of me, I said coldly, "Let's get a divorce, Su Wang-king." Su Wang-king was stunned by my sudden words. "What did you say? Are you deaf?" I said, "Let's get a divorce." "Over such a tiny thing. You want to divorce me over this? You think this is a tiny thing?" Nothing happened between Chen Yu and me. He's just a kid who just started working. I just take extra care of him. What's wrong with that? Looking at Su Wang-king still acting like she doesn't care, I got pretty pissed off. I don't like my woman taking care of other guys. It grosses me out. Su Wang-king reacted like a mouse whose tail got stepped on. She blew up in an instant. "Fine, you want a divorce, huh? Then you leave with absolutely nothing. You want to get divorced, right? Then you get no assets from this marriage. My money, my house, none of it has anything to do with you. Without me, you'll have nothing to live on." She angrily called her lawyer and told him to draft a divorce agreement. Before long, the suited lawyer came to deliver the divorce agreement. I signed it without a second thought. When Su Wang-king saw I'd signed, she signed right away without hesitation. Chen Yu was trying hard to hold back a laugh. "Bet you can't even afford food now, huh?" I pointed at the door. "Get the hell out of here. Who do you think you are to kick me out? Even President Su hasn't told me to leave. Su Wang-king, and I haven't gotten the divorce certificate yet. I'm still the man of this house right now. Get out right now." Hearing that, Su Wang-king pulled Chen Yu into her arms immediately. "This house is mine. You're the one who should get out." Then she called the house servants over to pack up all my belongings and throw everything outside. Soon all my stuff was piled at the villa entrance, looking like a small hill. I calmly took out my phone and unlocked it and sent a message to a group chat. "Uncles, I got divorced, and Su Wang-king kicked me out of the house. The group chat blew up instantly. Messages kept popping up one after another. That's King. She's had it way too good for too long. How dare she treat our precious nephew like this? She's totally forgotten her place. Who helped her get to where she is now, daring to treat Luze like this? She's definitely got a death wish. All right, stop chattering, let's get into action right now. I just stood right at the villa entrance, watching messages pop up nonstop in the group. Chenyu was also standing by the door, crossing his arms and staring at me. Why haven't you left yet? Are you too reluctant to go? Let alone live here in the future. Even getting another look at this huge, luxurious villa will be almost impossible for you, right? Just as he was happily gloating over my misfortune, a procuratorate car was driving towards here. When they saw the procuratorate car stop at the villa gate, King and Chenyu were both stunned. 3 prosecutors got out of the car. Then they put an official seal on the front door. King stepped in front of the law enforcement officers. What right do you have to seal off my house? Who authorized you to do this? One of the prosecutors stepped forward. This is our work ID and the seizure notice. Someone reported you for abusing your position. To embezzle collective assets. We are legally taking control of your property. Not just this villa. Can you believe all their property will be seized? King was completely shocked. That's impossible. Who reported me? Do you have any proof? All senior executives of Feiyu Group filed a joint report, and we already have solid evidence against you. A joint report from all senior executives. That can't be true. Just then, her phone suddenly rang. After she answered, a voice came from the other end. President Su, all board members voted to remove you. You're suspended from duty effective immediately. What did you say? What right do they have to fire me? After hanging up the phone, King paced back and forth furiously. The veins on her forehead were throbbing. Chenyu was terrified by the sudden turn of events. Why was your house sealed all of a sudden? Is someone messing with us behind our backs? King was already completely frazzled. Why are these old farts all ganging up on me out of nowhere? When did they get so united? There's definitely something fishy going on. Right then, my personal driver arrived. Sorry, young master. I'm late. There was a little traffic on the way. I waved my hand dismissively. Let me put your stuff in the car first, then. I pointed at the luggage next to me. I don't want any of these. Just load these few items into the car. King froze on the spot. You have a driver? Why did he call you young master? Before I married you, I really was a young master, you know. Did you really think just because my dad handed the group to you, you're the real owner of Feiyu? At the end of the day, Feiyu still belongs to the Liu family. You don't actually think that as a mere CEO, you can take down me who holds 50% of the company's shares, the chairman out of his position. Hearing this, King looked at me with a shocked face. Why do you own half of Feiyu's shares? Duh. Obviously I do. My dad would never hand over the group's shares to an outsider. King laughed after hearing that. Are you out of your mind? Your dad's share transfer to you requires my signature. I haven't signed it yet. That contract is just a worthless piece of paper. What's more, the contract specifically states that if we get divorced, this will automatically becomes void. The shares will be transferred directly to my name. My dad told me before he passed away, after I've been in office for 3 full years, all shares under his name will be automatically transferred to me. I hit the 3-year mark last month. That contract should have taken effect ages ago. Wow, you and your dad plotted together to trick me. I slaved away for you guys for years, and this is your scheme. And I end up with nothing at all. Oh, you did get something, I said, glancing at Chenyu. You got the girl, didn't you? King's face turned green with anger at my words. I went on speaking. You should be grateful enough. At least you lived a good life for 3 years, right? To the outside world. It always looked like I relied on you to get by. But the truth is you relied on the Liu family. You're not even part of our family. You should have stayed in your lane. Who knew after 3 years as a mere executive director? You actually think you're the boss? Remember this. You're just an employee of the Liu family. Without me, Luza, you are nothing. You'd still be running sales for some random company right now. You're yelling at me again. I was the one who helped you run the group back then. Besides, I'm at least cleaner than those PR girls. If you had stayed a dutiful wife to me, maybe I would have given you what you wanted. But now you've disappointed me way too much. King stood listening to my words, her face getting darker and darker. But I pressed on relentlessly. You should have kept pretending a little longer. If you had held on for a few more months, I would have signed the contract. Once you got the company shares, It would have taken me way more effort to remove you from your position. Your big mistake was that you had no patience. You couldn't keep up the act that long. After hearing this, Su Wanking was completely stunned. The board of directors voted to remove me. That was all because of you, wasn't it? That's right. All the board members are like uncles to me. They worked with my dad for half their lives. They're his closest friends. Of course, they treat me like their own nephew. The only reason they cooperated with you was out of respect for me. Do you think they actually respect you as executive director? It's only because you married into the Liu family. Otherwise, do you really think someone like you could easily control the big shots who've been in the business world for decades? You're way too overconfident in yourself. Su Wanking was now pulling at her hair, her face bright red with frustration. Chen Yu still hadn't figured out what was going on. President Su, what's he talking about? What does he mean Feiyu Group belongs to the Liu family? Why does he own so many shares of Feiyu? I heard his words from the side and smiled at him. Chen Yu, didn't you learn about the group's history when you joined the company? Looks like you didn't take the onboarding training seriously at all. If you had paid even a little attention during training, you'd know Feiyu's founder's last name is Liu, who is my father, Liu Hong. Chen Yu was dumbfounded immediately after hearing this, his mouth hanging open for ages. Looking at his expression, I said sarcastically, "Didn't you say I don't have the right to fire you?" I said, turning to look at Su Wanking. "You also said, I don't have the right to fire your employees. Tomorrow I will officially take over Feiyu and become Feiyu's new chairman. I will announce the decision to fire both of you in front of all the group's senior management. At the same time, I will issue an industry-wide ban. Any company that partners with Feiyu will not be allowed to hire you ever again. This is what you get for provoking me." President Su, Luza is just bluffing, right? There's no way he has enough power to ban me from the entire industry. And you're not going to step down, right? Honey, I think we need to talk properly. Stop right there. We already signed the divorce agreement. Don't call me honey. Su Wanking was already speaking through tears at this point. Even though we signed the divorce agreement, we haven't gotten the divorce certificate yet. We're still husband and wife right now. Besides, I only wanted to scare you. I didn't actually want to divorce you. So you threw all my stuff out and froze all my bank cards. You were just trying to scare me. I was really pissed off at that moment. Can you forgive me, please? I'll have someone reactivate your cards right now. I don't need your lousy cards anymore. Besides, all your assets are frozen. Those cards of yours are useless now anyway. With that, I pulled all the cards out of my bag and flung them one by one at Su Wanking. Then I turned around and got into the car that came to pick me up. The second I closed the car door, Su Wanking suddenly lunged over. Honey, get out, don't leave. Let's talk this through properly. But the car door was already locked. She couldn't yank it open no matter what. Then the car drove off quickly. Su Wanking could only stand there helplessly. The driver drove me back to the old family mansion. Its location is even better than Su Wanking's villa. Its exterior and decor are similar to a medieval castle. It has over 30 staff, including gardeners and cleaners, chefs, butlers, and bodyguards. All in all, it's super comfortable and safe. Sleeping in a new place all of a sudden, I was still a bit out of sorts. Lying in bed, I thought back to when I first met Su Wanking to close a deal. She even went so far as to block a manager's car. Even when she got hit and knocked down by the car, she got right back up immediately and limped over to introduce her company's products. I was drawn to that fearless drive of hers. I thought she might be able to help me run a huge group company, well, so I could do the things I enjoy, travel, grow flowers, and live a laid-back life. But as it turns out, I didn't misjudge her. She really delivered. She helped me run Feiyu well, though she sometimes abused her position to do things for her own benefit. I just turned a blind eye to it all. The only requirement I had for her was that while being a good group CEO, she also be a loyal wife. Early the next morning, I put on a sharp business suit and left the house on time. I got in the car heading to the group headquarters. When I arrived at the headquarters conference room, all directors and executives were already seated. The second I stepped into the conference room, loud applause erupted immediately. Everyone's face was lit up with excited smiles. My uncles had told me long ago they had been waiting for me to come back and take over the group. Less than 2 minutes after I arrived, Su Wanking showed up too, with Chen Yu following right behind her. I stood at the head of the conference table. Everyone is here? I now officially announce the board's appointment decision. Su Wangking is officially removed from her post for embezzlement. Chen Yu, assistant to the CEO, falsified his academic credentials and does not meet the group's recruitment requirements. He is officially fired. Chen Yu was stunned. He never expected I'd find out his credentials were fake. Your credentials are fake. Mrs. Su, I can explain. I really got admitted to a 985 university. I just didn't finish because of health issues. If you want to explain, please go outside to do it, okay? This is Fei Yu's senior management meeting right now. Please leave immediately. Oh, right, Su Wangking. Please pack up your things right now. I'm moving into the office soon. If after the meeting ends, you still haven't cleared out all your stuff, I'll have someone throw it all out for you. When I got to the CEO's office after the meeting, I found Su Wangking and Chen Yu still there. I immediately told my assistant beside me to get people and clear out all these two people's stuff. My new assistant is a gorgeous woman who graduated from Tsinghua or Peking University. My uncle specially hired her for me. Then I walked over to Chen Yu's desk and picked up the photo frame on his table. It was a close photo of him and Su Wangking inside. Putting this kind of thing on your work desk. People who don't know would think you're Su Wangking's husband. Chen Yu snatched the photo frame from my hand. Don't touch my stuff. I'm not Mrs. Su's husband yet, but I definitely will be in the future. Then I wish you all the best with that dream. Su Wangking next to him pushed Chen Yu away hard. I'm never going to divorce you, let alone marry him. When I agreed to divorce you before, I was just mad and being petty. I never actually wanted to really divorce you. Okay, enough talking. I know I went too far this time. After I fire Chen Yu, you'll be in charge of everything in the company. I already fired Chen Yu. I fired you as well. So you have no right to decide if he stays or goes. You always thought you were super capable, right? You thought everything you have now is all your own doing. Then go out and try, see if with your so-called capabilities, you can ever get to the position you had today. Honey, we've been married for 3 years. You can't be this heartless. Just because I took care of the new assistant. You want to divorce me and kick me out of the group? How could you be this ruthless to me? It's precisely because you took care of that new assistant that I'm divorcing you and kicking you out of the group. Su Wangking wouldn't be where she is today without me, Lu Zhe. The reason you got a firm foothold at Fei Yu and climbed to such a high position is all because I tolerated all your weird quirks. Like you insist on separate servings and public chopsticks for meals. And we have to wash our clothes separately too. Even when we're intimate. You make me cover myself up completely. Fine, I put up with all that.
But how can a neat freak
even finish the half bowl of leftover rice from that young assistant? And why would you let him use our bathroom to shower? And even let him wear your white pajama pants? I said all of this right in front of all President's office colleagues and spilled every single detail without holding back. All the colleagues immediately changed their expressions. They looked at the two of them with full contempt and disdain, and even a hint of anger after learning the truth. Su Wangking, maybe you never loved me from the start. Putting your neat freak habit aside, I admit you've been a decent wife these past 3 years. I've also paid you what you deserve all these years. I don't owe you anything. And you don't owe me anything either. We're even... Lu Zhe, President Su doesn't love you. You should look for the problem in yourself. Who asked you to be so domineering and so bad at caring for others? I'm nothing like you. I know how to care for President Su. That's why she's willing to treat me well. That's because our positions are totally different in the first place. You're dating above your status. Of course you have to suck up to Su Wangking. While I'm already at the top, I don't need to suck up to anyone. That's the biggest difference between us. Nonsense. It's obviously you who don't love President Su. Only my love for President Su is real. Oh, so your love for her is true love, huh? Then when she's convicted of embezzlement, and all her property is seized, and ends up in prison, I hope you'll still be willing to stand by her side, just like you are now. What did you say? President Su will have all her property seized? And get sentenced. That's impossible. Stop trying to scare me. Su Wangking was already scared silly. How much shady stuff has she done? Only she knows best in her heart. The next second, she suddenly knelt down in front of me, grabbed my hand and kept crying and begging. Honey, for the sake of our 3 years of marriage. I shook her hand off violently. Please, I'm begging you. I don't want to go to jail. Begging me is useless. It's the law that's not letting you off the hook. If you return all the embezzled assets, you might get a lighter sentence. All that money was put into investments. I didn't make any profit from it. It's all gone down the drain. Even if I use all my property under my name to pay the debt, it's still not enough. I glanced at Chen Yu. Don't you still have a little lover here? You can ask him to help you raise some money. Where would I get the money? I'm just a regular employee. I haven't even worked a full month yet. I haven't even gotten my salary yet. President Su, don't take his words so seriously. He's probably just trying to frighten you. Honey, I'll use all my assets to pay off the debt. I'll pay back the rest slowly, too. I really don't want to go to jail. I'm begging you to give me a chance. A chance to turn over a new leaf, I said coldly after hearing that. Then when you froze all my bank cards, and I couldn't pay the bill, did you ever think that I might get detained by the police for dining and dashing? I didn't think of that. I just wanted to scare you a little. And even if I froze your cards, you still managed to pay the bill in the end, right? You have so many friends. You definitely would have found a way. I, Luza, never thought that in my life I'd get mocked by the staff for not paying the bill, and even get taken to the police station. You made me lose all my face. It's time for you to get your lesson. Instead of begging me here, you better go find a good lawyer and try to get a shorter sentence. Su Wanking collapsed onto the ground dejectedly, because she knew I wouldn't show her any mercy anymore. Chen Yu squatted down next to her. President Su, don't scare me like this. I know you're the most capable person ever. You'll definitely get through this. Su Wanking started crying. She grabbed Chen Yu hard, as if she was holding on to her last lifeline. Chen Yu, if I end up with nothing at all, will you still stay by my side? Of course I will. I truly like you, President Su. All right then, take out the things I gave you before. The watches and jewelry, sell them all, to help me pay off my debts. Then take out the watches and jewelry I gave you before. Sell them to help me pay off my debts. I have nowhere to live right now. I have to move in with you. President Su, are you kidding me? How can you ask for gifts you gave me back? My place is so small. There's no way two people can fit there. Even though your assets are seized, you must have other assets under your name, right? We can just go live at your parents' house, can't we? Don't worry, no matter how hard things get. I'll stay right here with you. Stop holding on to false hope. Su Wanking has absolutely nothing now. She's a penniless loser who owes tens of millions in debt. Chen Yu slowly loosened his grip on Su Wanking's hand. You really have nothing left at all? Chen Yu, what do you mean by that? Didn't you say even if I had nothing left, you'd stay with me and make a comeback? Chen Yu stood up furiously. You owe that much money, and you got fired from Feiyu too. How are you ever going to make a comeback? I thought you were some bossy rich CEO at first. Turns out you're just a gold digger who relies on men. What a total waste of my time. You're not some hotshot CEO at all. What are you always pretending for? Like Feiyu belongs to you or something? Su Wanking's eyes widened in shock. She slowly stood up from the ground too. Chen Yu, what the hell are you talking about? Don't tell me all your sweetness to me. It was just for my money and status. Chen Yu stood with his hands on his hips, unapologetic. Who doesn't want a capable woman to live a worry-free life with for the rest of their days? I, Chen Yu, am young and handsome. Of course I need to marry a social elite. Once you start suffering hardships, you'll never stop suffering them. But what I'm looking for is a woman who can help me climb the social ladder, who has a black card I can swipe as much as I want. Not someone like you who uses men to get to the top, and is also completely ungrateful. You hypocrite. You've ruined my whole life. What hypocrite? What did I ever do to you? All the stuff you gave me isn't even worth $1 million total. Su Wanking got even angrier. She grabbed Chen Yu by the neck. I won't let you off the hook, you shameless bastard. Chen Yu was pushed to the ground by Su Wanking. The back of his head hit the corner of the table. He passed out right away. I called someone to send Chen Yu to the hospital. Su Wanking was also taken away by the police for intentional injury. 1 month later, I got my divorce from Su Wanking really quickly. The investigation into her embezzlement case also came to a conclusion. Chen Yu also disappeared. Later I heard he couldn't find a job. So his parents called him back to the village to marry a local landowner and become a stepfather to her child. I met my high school deskmate again at a class reunion. She now holds a senior position on Wall Street. We fell in love and got married. Now my wife is 8 months pregnant. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. One day when my wife and I were at a maternity and baby shop, picking out baby products, when I saw that familiar face again. He was picking up trash on the street. My wife and I stood at the shop door holding our baby supplies. We made eye contact for a second. He glanced at my wife's pregnant belly. His mouth opened slightly, but he didn't say anything in the end. My wife asked me, "Do you know him? Let's go home."